Hi guys, welcome to my channel for my first video. This is the Mystic Vibe podcast, and I just want to start this off by being like a little introduction to me, my mission, what this channel is all about, so that way you can kind of get to know the face behind the channel. My name is Kat, or Katrina. I started going by Kat recently just because it's so much easier for people to remember, and I work with the elderly. I just decided to simplify it. And I work as a nurse in southern Wisconsin. I share custody of my two kids with their father 50-50, so we are no longer together, and we raise neurodivergent children together. My youngest just actually got diagnosed with autism, requiring level 2 supports. So I have a lot going on all the time, balancing behaviors with school meetings, therapy meetings, all the things. But I feel like my journey has really helped me to be equipped to handle that. And so we're going to dive into my health journey and why this is my passion at the same time. Everything started when I was a kid. I ended up having a heart murmur when I was born, and it disappeared until I was about 6 or 7. And then I had a hole in the center wall of my heart that required surgery when I was almost 9. And because of that, I had chest pain that I was on medicine for. I also remember after the surgery, physical activity was hard for me because it would trigger chest pain. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And it was just really hard for me to build up that lung capacity and to build up my heart. According to the doctors, there's nothing wrong with my heart right now. It's just that I have to ease in and really build up those muscles. And then when I was 12, I just got hit with this wave of like exhaustion day in and day out. No matter how well I slept or how long I slept, I just never felt well rested. And so I got blood work done to get my vitamins tested. I had low vitamin D. I do remember my mom taking me to the doctor, and I got put on trazodone for a while to kind of help me stay asleep. And I would have like intermittent episodes of apnea or not breathing when I was sleeping. So I had tonsil and adenoid surgery for that in high school. I don't know if that really helped. I still snore really bad. But that exhaustion still kind of lasted with no real rhyme or reason as to why. It just was. So I just kind of combated it with drinking what I could. Caffeine was always my crutch or my go-to in high school. I just kind of learned to live with it and decided like that was my norm because there was nothing I could do to fix it. And then when I was 21, I had my first child, and that's when I really noticed like this is abnormal, because when you're a new mom, like you're up all hours of the night, barely sleeping, have a whole new person to manage, like it really flared up that exhaustion. And I just remember getting more blood work done, and I got a sleep study referral finally for the first time, I think. And so they told me that my brain wakes up while I'm sleeping, and that is what's causing the low quality of sleep. And basically what happened is that when I gave birth to my oldest son, my body went from 0 pain to holy shit pain because they broke my water at 2 centimeters, and that really shocked my body, and it triggered a gene that I had that causes my body to attack itself. It's called HLA-B27. And it's highly common in people with autoimmune deficiencies and like autoimmune disorders. So my brain in the sleep study was throwing off waves of pain while I was sleeping. And then during the study, they noticed that like my legs would move while I'm sleeping. So they diagnosed me with restless leg syndrome. And then they sent me to rheumatology to get like autoimmune panels done because the brain activity was showing them that something was going on. And, somewhere in there, I went and saw rheumatology, had my ANA labs done and everything. They thought I had lupus, but that test was inconclusive for a while. And then I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia because I had so much pain in random spots in my body, like my head, my back, my arms, and my legs. And it just kind of made life extremely miserable. And I thought that was how life was supposed to be. And it was really hard raising 2 kids under the age of 2 with that. I remember I stayed home with them for 6 months because I just, at the time, I think it just seemed easier to do that instead of trying to work and be mom and deal with the pain. And then somewhere in there, I also got my tubes tied because I did not want to raise 3 or more children with my issues. I felt like that was irresponsible to the children I already had and to the life that I had at the time. And I was married when I made that decision, and I wasn't fought on it. Don't know if he really truly wanted more children or not, but that's kind of where we ended up with that. And so I found a spiritual group when both of my kids were pretty little. And they basically said that fibromyalgia is like an emotional, like a trapped emotion kind of disorder. It's not like a physical one. And that description just like did something in my brain as like, this is the truth. And it just really resonated with me that that is my truth of how I perceive my illness and my dis-ease. And looking back on it, like I had so many emotions that were going on all the time in my head that were really hard for me to process as a kid with my family dynamic and everything that I had growing up. With my birth father and everything like that, because the man who raised me is my stepdad, but he is my dad. He was there for all the moments. So I had like a lot of emotional turmoil throughout my life that I just kind of like internalized. And so that can, when your body holds on to emotions instead of like feeling them, releasing them, it can cause disharmony and dis-ease in your body, causing pain. And so that's basically what my truth and my reality had become. And in this spiritual group, I found tools like trapped emotions, Reiki, the Akashic Records, and this just opened up a whole new world for me because I learned that my oldest son tried to come to me too early, and that's why I had a miscarriage before he was born. He was not meant to be a girl in this life, and he was born a boy. And I got pregnant with him 6 months after I lost the first baby. So that kind of like brought a whole new bucket of comfort to that wound, and I feel like it helped heal me. And the Reiki and the trapped emotions combination, it helped me reduce my leg pain significantly, so I didn't feel like my bones were breaking all the time, but it was like tingling and kind of numbing sometimes, but it was comfortable. Like I could deal with that, and it didn't make me want to tear my hair out and bawl my eyes out all the time because I hurt so bad. And then I ended up taking classes and getting certified in Reiki and the Akashic Records, and yeah, that's kind of led me here. And in 2019, 2020 area, before I started nursing school, I actually had my own group called the Mystic Community, which is kind of where I got the vibe for this name. Because I wanted something that felt like that, but in a new capacity to fit my life now. So that is my long-winded medical background. And so I also along the way did like network marketing businesses and tried those things. And one company I found when my kids were little was Thrive or le-vel. And I ended up stopping the products here and there, but I started it back up again a year ago. And so May of 2024, I was busting my ass working so many double shifts, getting 4.5 hours of sleep, working 2 to 10:30 shift, and then having to wake up at 4:30 to go get my kids from their dad in the morning because I take them to school. Because they go to the school district in my town and not where their dad lives. We live a town away, so it's not too far of a drive. I don't remember where I left off on that, but I started doing le-vel again a year ago because I was at rock bottom. I felt like a beached whale. I looked like I was 6 months pregnant. I was exhausted and just not myself. I was being treated for ADHD, and the medication just kind of made me feel jittery, and it came to the point where I had to figure out what to do. I just didn't know what that was yet because I did not trust myself to give a TB test because I had the jitters that much. And on PM shift, if they're newer to the facility, like I had to give the TB test. And so I just made the decision to stop my medication, and I haven't taken them since. But I was overweight. I didn't really think I could stop drinking the caffeine and the soda and start eating healthy because it seemed like every time I tried, I just fell off, and I just kept doing that. And I was like, I don't want to keep doing that. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to accept that this is my fate. And in that moment of surrendering to my situation, my intuition came into my head and there said, you didn't feel this way when you took Thrive. And I was like, you're right. And I immediately messaged the person that I had originally enrolled with years ago who introduced me to it. And I was like, I need to come back. Like, I just had an epiphany that this is what I need and I need to do it now. And I immediately signed up to be a promoter because I knew that I wanted to build something with it too, or have that opportunity. I didn't want to just be a customer. And so in the last year, I've been using those products to heal my gut. And in a year, I managed to lose 16 pounds. And I'm continuing to eat macros, eat like within a macro plan of high protein, moderate carbs, so I'm not restricting myself. I'm going to the gym 5 days a week or working out 5 days a week, doing strength training 3 days a week. Like, I feel like I have a whole new mentality about my health and my wellness journey because I started with these products. And that is the super strong thing, is like it gives you such a clean, sustainable energy that you can feel the vitamins working because they're premium grade supplements. And so that is how I decided I could easily stick with something, because it was 3 steps that took 30 minutes of my day. And I knocked it out, and I just kept going and going and going. And I was so happy that I did that, and I will never ever go back. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how badly I may want to give up, I know that I'm meant to do something with this and with my story and all the things I've learned along the way. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. This is why I keep wanting to be in healthcare, to help people. Like, it lights me up, and it's what I love to do. So that is my story, my inspiration for this channel. And I will be sharing like Reiki videos, card pulls for tarot and oracle cards, channel messages, and some wellness tips along the way. Like, I have a short that I showed like how to engage your core, because I personally had never learned how to do that. And it's like a 2-step process, but you can go check that out on the channel too. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video at all, I know it's a little long, I'm sorry, but be sure to like the video, subscribe, share with your friends, refer them to the channel. We are just starting out, but I love this space. I love the opportunity it has already shown me with a couple of shorts that I have, and I'm really excited to make this content for you guys and share more of me and everything that I offer. So have a great time, and thank you for watching.